Jeremy Vuolo, who is married to Ginger Duggar, is coming out about an incident where he nearly received a 20-year prison sentence. The Ginger and Jeremy podcast recently discussed this topic. What nearly led to Jeremy's incarceration, though? The sale of a friend's car brought in some cash for Jeremy. Because it was $6,000 in cash, he had to deposit it at the bank. It was discovered that this currency was actually counterfeit and not real. It would have been easy for the bank to suspect that he was attempting to con them. Jeremy informed them that the money was just paper once they allowed him to feel it. The source of the funds was revealed by Jeremy when he said they, the Rulo's friend, had a car on our property that they were selling. A crazed man then shows up at the residence. The salesman thought the customer was insane, but at least he was serious about purchasing the vehicle. They went ahead and made the trade. The thought of spending 20 years behind bars for counterfeit money terrified Jeremy Vuolo, who claims he couldn't stop thinking about it. They instead explained everything and let him go before making him stay to fill out a report. "Look, I'm just grateful you're not behind bars at the moment," Jeremy remarked. Part of Jeremy's luck was likely due to the fact that the bills were obviously counterfeit. The problem is that neither the man nor the bank suspected anything was amiss when Jeremy accepted them. Nothing is known about what happened to the man after the authorities became involved with the case or whether they ever received the money from him. Jeremy was fortunate that he was unharmed. His previous arrests were for intoxicated harassment. This was before Jeremy's relationship with Ginger, and things have changed for the better now. Jeremy Vuolo, Ginger Duggar's spouse, recently made a disturbing confession about a terrifying period in his life that almost resulted in a long jail term. Jeremy Vuolo, who is now recognized as a member of the Duggar family because of his marriage to Ginger, was once a reclusive man before becoming famous thanks to his ties to the infamous Duggar family. In contrast, he lately revealed an anecdote from his past, how he was verging on a 20-year jail term that shocked many of his fans. In 2016, Jeremy Vuolo wed Ginger Duggar, thus becoming a member of the Duggar family. For those who might not know, viewers of the Duggar family's reality show Counting On were captivated by the couple's rapid relationship, which began while Jeremy was serving as a pastor. Following their on-screen courting, Ginger, the fourth daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, married Jeremy. Reality TV and social media have both helped propel them to stardom as a pair. But in a recent interview, Jeremy stunned everyone by bringing up a previously unknown aspect of his background. An incident involving the law that almost resulted in his incarceration was one of the instances he described as it sheds light on Jeremy's past, prior to his marriage to Ginger and his ascent to prominence. The revelation was shocking and unexpected for viewers. Let's go further into Jeremy Vuolo's revelations and the circumstances that may have changed his life forever. The startling discovery. Jeremy recounted an unbelievable event in an interview that aired on the Real Life with Ginger and Jeremy podcast, shocking and confounding many others. He admitted that he was in a legal bind that might have resulted in a lengthy prison sentence, up to 20 years, if he hadn't escaped. The plot started while Jeremy was working and living in a separate region of the nation. When Jeremy met Ginger, he was already on his way to California to follow his career dreams. Around this period, he found himself in a predicament that would force him to make some tough decisions and put his morals to the test. While he would not provide extensive details, he did say that the case included a time of bad decisions and an escalating mix-up. "This was a period in my life when I was irrational and I made some bad decisions," Jeremy expressed. "A lot worse thing may have happened to me in that situation than what actually happened. It wasn't until it was nearly too late that I realized how awful things had gotten. Otherwise, I could have faced 20 years in jail." The seriousness of the situation was further underscored when Jeremy detailed his narrow escape from jail. It was a near miss that continues to trouble him, even though he was ultimately able to put things right and grow from his errors. Being on the verge of a 20-year sentence made him think about how much he had changed and how far he had come in life. Why redemption and change matter so much. The part of Jeremy Vuolo's revelation where he talks about how he has changed and found salvation is very moving. When Jeremy thought back on his struggles, he realized how critical it was to make a change for the better. He was forced to examine his past decisions and his aspirations for the future. After this experience served as a wake-up call, according to what Jeremy revealed later on. He started to put more emphasis on his faith and his connection with God at this period. He said that he decided to modify his ways and escape the consequences of his earlier behavior because of his renewed devotion to his faith. "I don't know where I would be now if I hadn't found my faith," he remarked. "It provided the foundation I needed to stay rooted and the fortitude to push ahead." For many of Jeremy's followers, who may have been through something similar, the story's emphasis on redemption and personal growth strikes a chord. His openness about his history demonstrates that we all have a story and that it is possible to make a fresh start at any point in life. Fans, particularly those who have followed the Duggar family through the years and seen their progress, hold Jeremy Vuolo in high esteem because of his honesty and willingness to admit when he is wrong. A story of change. As Jeremy Vuolo reflects on his life today, he realizes how much he has overcome since those difficult times. Thanks to his connection with Duggar and their family, he has discovered meaning in his work life and gone on to attain personal achievement. Much of his success, he says, is due to the lessons he learned while he was struggling. Jeremy has put his profession on hold to focus on his family life since his marriage to Duggar. He and Duggar have 2 small girls together, and they have a strong, loving marriage. As a pair, they have risen to prominence inside the Duggar family and have become icons of love, faith, and tenacity in the eyes of the public. Being in the public eye has brought both joys and sorrows to their journey, but Jeremy's candidness about his history enriches their story. Being a better husband, father, and man is one of Jeremy's most significant goals in life right now. He is committed to learning from his mistakes and moving forward, knowing that they do not define him. "The past is beyond my control," he stated. "I have the power to improve myself today, and that is the most important thing." What happens to his supporters? Jeremy Vuolo's admirers, particularly those who have been there from the start, have been deeply moved by his honesty regarding his history. His tale is an inspiration to many because it demonstrates that with faith, determination, and a desire to change, it is possible to overcome any challenge. Many of his admirers have spoken out about their own struggles and eventual salvation, and many have commended him for being courageous enough to talk about such a private and difficult part of his life. Many others, inspired by Jeremy's experience, are talking about how important it is to have second chances and evolve as people, particularly for people who believe their mistakes define them. Conclusion. Living life to the fullest. A compelling reminder of the value of redemption, faith, and personal growth is provided by Jeremy Vuolo's admission about his close call with a 20-year prison term. While his life has been filled with hardship, it has also been marked by success and personal growth. Jeremy has grown as a person, spouse, and parent by reflecting and overcoming his past failures. Jeremy Vuolo's candor and openness in sharing his story with his audience gives encouragement to anyone who may be going through tough times. His life exemplifies the power of faith and perseverance in the face of adversity, showing that redemption is possible at any age.